back to another episode of the Hooligans Pitch. As always, it's your boys, Michael and Chad, coming at you live.
Hey.
What's up, Chad?
It's a stormy day.
Oh, I heard y'all getting some rain.
Yeah, rain, gusts of 40 miles an hour, light work as far as maybe the snowstorms you get, but
bro, it's mid-60s here today.
Oh, nice
Sunshine.
Summer day for you.
My window was open. It's a big day over here.
But yeah, I'm good. It's just stormy, windy,
yeah,
winter in California.
You're on like the second winter now. I've seen the list of the seasonal changes, and I know where you're at. I've been there. I've seen it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's get this thing going. What you having to drink?
I'm sticking with water for right now.
Right there with you.
In solidarity with you. So
it's the last day of dry January.
There you go.
I will be going to Sam's Club tomorrow to stock up. We still have some treehouse in the fridge, but I think I'm gonna probably save them for the Super Bowl.
Okay,
exciting. I know, other side of the football. Go Niners. That was a great fun match. That was probably one of the match of the year. If anyone caught it, I had a great time watching that. I actually felt pretty bad the first half.
It's fair.
To the point where I was already kind of deciding what I was going to do in 2 weeks on Super Bowl Sunday, and now I'm like, I got to rethink my whole plan here. But
yeah,
that was kind of the highlight of the weekend because we got some pretty unfortunate news for I would say not just Liverpool fans, but I think all fans of football that Jurgen Klopp is now going to be out of a job by May. Unless we make it to the end of the Europa finals, but that came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Definitely caught me off guard. Like, I don't think anyone saw it coming, right?
No, there's no way.
If anyone was wondering or thinking of like what big manager would leave next, I think everyone kind of had like Pep down as next because been there a long time, won a lot. The Man City project is more or less fine now. You can pick him out and throw someone else in and it'll probably be okay. So I think everyone would have been prepared if Pep came out and said that, but for Klopp to drop the bomb was, I woke up and saw the notifications from it and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what I was reading.
At first, when I saw the video, because I think it was pretty early when I saw it, and I had the video on Instagram, but it was muted because I think Kristen was sleeping, and I was looking, I was like, "Is this a deep fake?" And I was like, "That's so weird." And it had the subtitles. I couldn't hear anything, and then someone posted in our Instagram group, and I was like, "Wow!" I was like, "I think this is actually real." And then I went back and listened to the video. And I was like, "This is definitely real." And it basically says he's kind of running out of energy. He's done everything he's wanted to accomplish in England and kind of, I think, as a coach, not saying he won't coach again, but it definitely was kind of leaning that way. At least that was the vibes I got. The rumor is he could maybe do it for the national team, which I don't know if it doesn't seem like the national team type of coach to me. Like, I think he wants to be in front of fans all the time. That's just the type of vibe he's always given off. And to only do that in certain situations, every major tournament just seems so not Klopp-like. So
yeah, I think he certainly leaves the management door open, but I think probably just based on where he is now, I guess emotionally and mentally is he seems kind of done.
Well, in that interview, he seemed definitely mentally just I'm preparing for these last couple months, but on the field you would never know it.
No, yeah, and that's what I was thinking when I watched the video. I was like, okay, so he knew and told Liverpool owners and stuff in November, and I was trying to think back of games since then, and nothing stood out to me in my memory of him even looking off the slightest bit.
So if anything, I was like, we got another run at this thing. This is the next chapter of Klopp.
I think it's good for him to, if he made this announcement last season and Liverpool last season is the one he goes out on, I think that probably would have not only sucked as fans because it would have been much more
Oof.
tumultuous, changeover.
Dude.
I'm sure.
I think it would have been kind of ugly because who knows what summer
Yeah.
signings would have happened.
Yeah. So I think his next chapter might have just been like making sure I don't leave Liverpool like completely screwed like last year was looking, right? Like so to come back this year and get the team kind of back in shape and back competing at the top, I think is like maybe what kind of allowed himself to remove himself from the team, moving forward, which is good. Good to realize as a coach or athlete in these high pressure, high profile teams. I just always think back to like Arsene Wenger, like there for 22 years, like this big long history with Arsenal, and years removed from it now is like probably stayed a few years too long, right? Like his time and vision and drive maybe started to wane a little bit in those final years, and then even in like interviews and his autobiography since leaving, he has made statements about like more or less regretting giving like so much time to the football and the club and the training over the years, and like neglecting family and just like personal life and everything. So for Klopp to kind of realize this himself and early enough, I think is good. It sucks for Liverpool, for the fans, team, everyone, and certainly Premier League fans as well. Like, I mean, how long have we had the Klopp and Pep like go back and forth battle? That's, as a neutral, it has been so exciting to watch, let alone being a fan in that fan base. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna miss him. I like his antics. I know a lot of people get fed up about it, but like, I want that energy on the sidelines, right? And like, come on.
It's exciting rather than just sitting there and doing a golf clap every now and then, or not even celebrating a little bit when your team scores.
Yeah.
He's got to go down as one of the top managers in the EPL. Put him up there with Wenger and Fergie, Mourinho. Sure. He's one of those guys. He's leaving on a high, which only a couple managers, I think, in just Europe have really done that. Zidane as being one of them, and he was, just the Champions League master. Ferguson, another one, but Ferguson left Man U in the situation they're pretty much in now because he burned all of his resources in his last year there, and we're still seeing them recover 10 years later. So for Klopp to go out on possibly a championship, I mean, we're still the favorites at this moment. This might have given everyone a little extra motivation to push harder, to fight on against City and against Arsenal, and make sure that if he's going out this year, let's give it all we got. So he leaves Liverpool in tremendous shape. I really hope we can make this next manager that comes in the right fit. And there's a couple on my list, but these rumors are going to fly everywhere. So it's really, it's so early to even like really think about it. I as a fan, I just want to focus on each game one at a time. And hell, maybe if we win the league and Klopp's up there talking and he's going, it's been a wonderful season. It's been a great group of guys. And he's looking around. He goes, I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving. That's what I want, Chad. Like, deep down, if he did that, how fucking epic would that be?
Yeah, that'd be pretty tight.
That's what I want. So I'm being really hopeful. I fully expect him to retire from Liverpool, but damn, it would be cool. I'm not fucking leaving.
I mean, like,
could you imagine
the story to tell there? It would just be incredible. Like,
saying, man.
and the football gets like so tactical and like minute in these details. So then if Klopp just big brains is like, well, I'm just gonna say I'm leaving, energize the team and like motivate them, and then in the end, we did it. I'll fucking stay in. Like,
they're gonna need a SWAT team to take me out of here. I doubt it, but it would be cool.
Yeah.
It would be
No,
really
yeah,
neat.
yeah.
So yeah, a couple stats for you. He won Premier League 1920, FA Cup 21-22, Caribou Cup 21-22, Community Shield 2022, Champions League 18-19, Super Cup 2019, Club World Cup 2019, 283 wins, 105 losses, 78 drawn matches, win percentage of 60%. Brought Liverpool. He averages 80.5 points a season. Prior to him, the previous 5 years, they were averaging 60. So huge jump right there. We had multiple seasons finishing almost with 100 points, only losing out to City by 1 or 2 points in those seasons. So for me, I kind of only know Klopp Liverpool. It's a weird thing to to think about. We had Brendan Rodgers and Rafa Benitez for short little stints, but I think Klopp hooked me way more than those other guys. And of course I was a fan, and I was up, watching the early games with Sterling and Coutinho. I mean, Coutinho signing was 10 years ago. So and Klopp was there like a year after that. So it's just fascinating to see. I was going to ask you, what's your first, or maybe not your first, but your best memory of Klopp? Like, what comes to mind?
I mean, one memory I have is before he came to Liverpool, it was clear his time at Dortmund was coming to an end, and it was also around the time that Arsene Wenger was kind of coming to his end. So I remember kind of thinking that Klopp guy looks pretty good, so I wouldn't be mad if he came in to take over. And then I remember him going to Liverpool, obviously, and inside I was like, that one stung a little bit. I thought he would have been a nice fit. So, I mean, he probably would have been a nice fit anyway. I think wherever he goes, he will find that success and make it. But I mean, since he's been at Liverpool, I think I just love his energy, right?
Dude, he's the perfect fit.
Yeah, and I think that's what might make finding a replacement really difficult. Because tactically you can there's a huge assortment of managers that have the right tactics or similar enough, or can build the team right. But Klopp's created such a connection between him, players, club, fans. You see him at the end of every win when he's going up to the cop and doing his fist bumps and stuff, and really getting with the fans. And I feel like Liverpool needs to bring someone in who will, I don't think reach that level of energy, but at least want to have that connection with the fans. I don't think you can go I don't have a
Roy Hodgson
example. Yeah, I guess Roy Hodgson, right? Where it's just he's just there to manage the team, and that's it. I don't think Liverpool's built that way anymore. It has to be a more communal experience now.
You're part of the fans.
Yeah. So I think I would hope they're kind of taking that into account, and they probably are, because I mean, you even see it with Arteta and Arsenal, getting the fans really into the team and having that connection just not only makes the wins better, but makes the tough periods better too, because it's the players do have the fans to fall back on and kind of support them. So yeah, I don't know. I have the list down of names have been thrown out there. I don't know. No one has jumped out yet as that's who they should go for necessarily.
And the ones that are being rumored are, if you look at it, it's why would they go to Liverpool right now? Because they're having so much success. And I don't want to name drop because it's too much to talk about. It's too fresh. I would prefer it to be possibly a former player who the fans already love.
Gerrard.
We'll coin toss that one, and you might be right, you might be wrong. We won't get into that just yet. But I think that helps with the fans right away, because there's already a relationship there. But yeah, you're right. It's got to be a good fit, and it can't be one of these guys who comes in for a year or two, like a Conte or a Mourinho or
Yeah.
Even the Benitez, like if Rafa Benitez is like, I'll do it again. I'm like, no, we already did this.
Yeah.
I want a guy who's going to be there for 9+ years like Klopp, because that's how you build a dynasty. And even though we missed out on a couple championships, like this team's going to go down as one of the greatest Premier League teams for a stretch of years. So
I mean, and like 18-19 and 21-22, you finish 1 point behind Man City. Like
cheaters.
And yeah, that could get scrubbed, right? Depending how their case goes. But so yeah, this team was highly successful, one of the best in recent Premier League history. And like those seasons alone would be enough if I was Klopp to be like, yeah, I spent a ton of energy getting this team to score almost 100 points and it wasn't good enough. Like that's got to take a lot out of you. And, to keep coming back after that says a lot about Klopp and his drive. So yeah, I don't know where they go. I do think it's kind of a good time to for someone to come in, right? Like the team found that stability after last season. Salah and Virgil kind of not aging out, but getting there.
Yep.
While the rest of the squad is like fairly young and has been together for some of them a few years now. So if you're bringing someone in new, it's not too bad of a time to do it, as long as their tactics aren't wildly different. Like I think it should be a fingers crossed, a seamless transition into new management. But
yeah, and I do hope those vets stick around too, because in the past I was pretty content with Salah leaving this summer, just because Klopp can find someone and turn him into something.
Yeah,
he did that with most of his how many of his signings came in there and exceeded the expectations that were given? From Salah to Mane to Firmino to even though Virgil and Alisson were great players already, like they just kept going up and everyone's value just kept climbing. So with Klopp not there and a new guy coming in trying to fit into the system, that makes it a little bit more risky in my mind. So if we can have one more year with this team right now, with a new manager, I think that would do us wonders, just to make sure the culture is still there. Because that can go a long way. You bring in some new faces and a new manager, and all of a sudden Nunez is off the wall again, or like just doing stuff, and then everyone's getting fed up with it. Like that's not what we want. We don't want to go backwards. We need to stay up here and continue the success. So that's the Klopp talk. Painful, but it had to be done.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was going to hurt whether it was end of contract or not, but I think having him, sign on a new contract somewhat recently and then dropping this was like, I mean, more of a shock, I guess, but it was coming at some point. But
that contract he did too was mostly beneficial for the assistant coaches. He got all of them a pretty big raise while his salary stayed the same. He got them each like $2 million more or something. It was crazy.
Damn, okay.
So he did good work there. So maybe he knew like this was going to be their one last payday with him.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we still got how many more weeks? 16 more weeks to go. 16 more match days. So a lot can happen. Europa's still there.
Plus Europa,
and FA and Caribou. So I mean, we're alive in a lot of competitions. So we need to finish them out.
Still plenty of Liverpool Klopp domination to happen.
It's gonna add to the cabinet. That's the plan. But all right, should we jump into EPL?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Oh, let's get into it. Let's talk Arsenal and Forest here, Chad. Y'all look good for 85% of that game, and then there was just that little window where I was like, is Forest gonna do something here?
Yeah.
Walk me through it.
I mean, overall game is, Forest's. I found. I don't want to say the wrong thing again, but that someone posted a stat of like how deep Forest players' like average position was, and like they were basically just sitting in their box almost the whole game, right? Like, so it was hard to break down for Arsenal, and to be expected, I guess. It was going to take something maybe not all too special, but at least a little bit more clinical than Arsenal shooting was. They got some good shots off, but a lot went wide, a lot got blocked. Just the same shooting issues that Arsenal's been having all season, basically.
Saka's shot was nice though, weak foot, cross box.
Yeah.
It's like he needs to do that more, man. I don't think he trusts his right foot enough.
Yeah, which is kind of weird because we've seen him do those like really strong near post right foot shots a handful of times, and like more often than not they're going in, or at least getting deflected for a corner or back into the 6-yard box. So I don't know. I think it's still maybe a little bit of the Arteta tactics that he wants Martinelli to stay so wide, so then Saka doesn't get to come in too much. But this game, I think he was coming in more often, or at least like starting a little more inside. So maybe they're tweaking some things, still figuring it out. But yeah, he looked good when he could get on the ball. Jesus, man, works so hard for the team, does a lot, but his finishing is just like not exactly where we need it to be if he's gonna be the striker, right?
I think that's what City saw too. I mean, it's just that it's just not
clinical
enough.
That should have been known coming into it, right? Since Arteta worked with him.
Right.
So I was kind of hoping when all the like striker talk was coming out, and I was like, oh, is Arsenal gonna go in for Tony or splash the cash somewhere else for another striker? I was hoping that would kind of remotivate Jesus to really find his finishing, but I don't know. There's one or two good chances in this game where he missed it, or they got blocked that a more potent striker I think would have put away.
Yeah, and and the goal he got, that was kind of Turner's bad there.
That's Matty T being a gooner right there. He said, "Look, you guys struggling. Let me help you out."
Dude, Matt doesn't trust his team at all, and I think, and I don't blame him for it, but I just think you throw a different set of defenders out there, and he's going to play that so differently. And I understand why you need to criticize him, but I mean, what has Forrest done to help him out? And again, he doesn't help them out. It goes both ways. It really does.
Sure, yeah.
But when poor defending is in front of you, poor keeping is going to happen as well. It's more so his outlets when he's making passes outside, and on the attack side, he looks just lacks confidence. But for the most part, I mean, his shot stopping has always been, fairly decent. His position has been fine. He's getting shots all over the place. So he throw him back and put him in Liverpool's squad, and I'm sure he plays completely different. And honestly, he probably is playing way more confident because he knows he has some competent players in front of him. And no offense against Forrest here, but they're starting a pretty inexperienced defense. Half their squad was in AFCON. I mean, so much turnover is going on there. So I don't know, man. I hope he keeps his job, but Nuno, he might do something to shake things up there, and it wouldn't surprise me either.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of hoping Turner can just kind of see out this season with them. I don't know that he really should look to stay at Forest. Like, I think Nuno will probably help Forest get like a solidified 11 as opposed to like the round table of players that come in to that starting 11 this season and last, I guess. But I think Turner would just benefit more from like that stability in front of him, whether the players are great or not. It's just having that relationship with like knowing how that player is going to defend this situation and where he's going to be. Because it just feels like right now Turner feels like he has to defend the whole goal, right? He doesn't have anyone like a defender covering that near post or something, so he can worry about the other side. Like, I don't know. Like, Force is a weird one, especially now with Gio Reyna having just signed there. Like, I like getting Reyna in the Premier League, but at Forest, I don't know if that's the move that the USA needs.
Yeah, I, it's interesting. I feel like Dortmund was a good spot for him, and maybe with
Mhm.
Sancho coming in there, it made them want to ship him elsewhere. Because as far as I know, Reddit's telling me Sancho is a godsend, and Man United is the worst club to
Yeah.
exist. And I did see a couple highlights. I'm like, he looks
Mhm.
way different on the ball, but also I'm like, who's in front of him? Who's
Yeah.
attacking him? Who's defending him? Confidence does make a big difference there. But I'm excited to see Gio. I think it'll be, we don't get to watch Bundesliga often,
Yeah.
and when we do get to see those German teams, it's in the Champions League. So, am I excited to see Reina? Sure, absolutely. Do I understand why Forrest made this transfer? No, not at all. So that's kind of where we're at with that one.
Yeah.
It smells desperate. It smells like a Weston McKennie type of loan
Mhm.
here, in hopes they stay up. So, Leeds
Mhm.
made that transfer last year, did not work out.
No.
And it also didn't make Weston look great. But then Weston goes back to Italy, and he's like player of the team. So,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's an interesting one.
Yeah. I mean, my only hope for Gio really is that, Dortmund more often than not was um, in like somewhat control of matches, right? And when he would get on the ball, he would have time to kind of make decisions and find the right pass. Whereas on Forest and in the Premier League, he's just not going to have that time.
Mm-hmm.
So ideally, it'll make his decision making quicker, and because of that, will translate into the national team and help in that sense. Or he's just going to flounder and not be able to deal with the added pressure and less time on the ball, and then what? Gio is not already on the weird like outskirts of the USA team, and there's the drama with Berhalter and all that, and if he can't perform at Forest, and it looks worse for him for sure.
Yeah. They play Bournemouth this weekend. Forrest does, so I'm hoping that will be a good a good transition.
Yeah,
See, I'll be watching that one. I hope he plays. I hope he gets in. I assume he will. You don't make a signing like that
probably.
and not get him in kind of immediately. So
Yeah.
that'll be one on my end.
Yeah. But anyway, back to the Arsenal game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Saka goal, like I get the turnover was pretty high up the field, but it's that fast counter that I think Arsenal's been missing for most of this season.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's kind of what the play was last season, right? Like, yes, build up, but also be quick on the counters. And this season it's been just win the ball high up, but still like slow build and work and find the right intricate pass. But here, yeah, you saw, ball comes to Arsenal, pass it out quickly to Jesus. Saka's running down the opposite wing, cross it over, and Saka puts it away. And I think that's what Arsenal need to use more of. If Arteta wants to always have this control and domination, like obviously you have to keep the ball more, so you can't really play the fast counter all the time. But I think you do need to still allow for that situation to happen sometimes, because you got the players to do it.
Yeah.
They looked pretty comfortable doing it, so
A year ago they looked
just
pretty good doing it.
yeah. So I hope that's maybe a sign of Arteta realizing that, or like loosening the reins a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, yeah, like gotta find a way to score more. We're just getting shots off and going wide, but it's because we're also looking for like the perfect window for these shots, and it's hard to come by in the Premier League.
Well,
You don't get that time.
I
So
mean, you got 5 against Palace last week, so
yeah,
you're trending upwards.
yeah, certainly.
I hope it squashes in a couple days as we look to take each other on again.
Yeah.
Excited for that one, Chad. I think that's going to
Mhm.
be obviously the match of the week. Sunday at 10:30 my time, 8:30 yours.
Mhm.
Another rematch. We've had some battles in the last couple of years, and if y'all win that one though, that makes the title race just a little bit more interesting. Because I think at that point you'll be 2 away from the top, and City could have the chance to pass us. Correct me if I'm wrong, because City's still a game down, but I think they make that up. They'll make it up by next week.
Yeah, so if City and Arsenal win at the weekends, they're both at 49 points, Liverpool on 51.
Right.
And then, City has their game in hand still. So,
yikes.
It gets a little hairy.
Yikes.
But, look, we need someone to do a job against City. We can't
need to
just
band together, boys.
Yeah.
Somebody do us a solid.
For real.
Just take one game off them. Somebody, one game.
That's it.
That's all we want. Is it that hard? Yes.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, you go down our list of games for City. We're jumping around a little bit, but you go down that list for City, man. It's like, who are they going to lose to?
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, Brentford at home, I feel like could be this weird. Ivan Toney's back. Brentford home. Yeah, something might happen. I don't know, or it's wishful thinking, I guess. But I want to say that there's a chance Brentford could at least get a draw out of that game. A draw still helps.
That's hopeful, Chad. I'm gonna disagree a little bit just because of the way they played today.
Look, that was Brentford away. This is Brentford at home.
Oh, that's the difference. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, if they bring the antics, man, if they play a little shithousery and can get Haaland up, pick on KDB a little bit.
I mean, gotta do something. It's just we can't let them go on this, unbeaten run for the last 16 weeks of the league. Like,
dude, it's inevitable.
I know, but that's how they sneak by with 1 point at the end, right? They flounder throughout the first half of the season. They say, "All right, let's get to it," and just find a way through.
Their last loss against Aston Villa, and Aston Villa doesn't look like the same team they did then. Holy moly, falling apart at the seams. All right, we're jumping around quick. Got any more about Arsenal for us? Because we gotta we got some ADHD here to go around.
I know. Saliba should have defended the ball better.
Yeah.
For the goal, but that's it.
Yeah, but again, that was like kind of your one.
Yeah.
Your really one low point. Everything else was pretty much squared away. I didn't expect you guys to really struggle with that one. Yeah, good luck for us. That's pretty much it. All right, let's jump to Castle and Villa really quick because I think I was so high on Villa this year. We can still be high on them. They're still sitting fifth in the table with Tottenham getting that win today to even them out on the table. Same goal differential, same amount of points. Wow. I think at this point the only thing it's coming down to is goals scored. So Tottenham's up by 3 there. That's what's the deciding factor. And in Villa, man, they're just not scoring. They just stop. Their attack is freaking weak.
I don't really know what happened. Like, you still got Watkins out there. I mean, I know Bailey didn't start this game, but he's who'd they have instead? I forget his name. Diaby. Yeah. I mean, he looked good and should have been able to produce something between those two alone. But like even beyond that, the rest of the team is pretty much the same that was flying high. You still got McGinn behind them, Louise. Like, I don't know what happened to them. They just kind of hit this winter period and I don't know, lost their drive a little bit or something. Or after the City and Arsenal games, they kind of I think started to flounder a little bit.
They're saying that I was kind of doing a little bit of Reddit digging, and they say Emery's the champion of cups and tournaments for a reason, and not in league. And I'm like, that's pretty accurate. Those Sevilla teams would sneak by into Europa and of course win it. And I think maybe Emery treated the first half like a cup, went all out, did everything he could to get to second. I don't know I think they were joint at one point for top.
I think so, yeah.
For a half day or whatever it was, and then have quickly fallen. But goal scoring was their, they were just so potent in the box. They were charging down the field, and now, man, I mean, to lose to Castle 3-1, I understand they were losing against some tall defenders in their scoring, but yeah, I worry for them. I would love for them to make top 4, but at this rate, I don't want to be too hot takey, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking back through their games now, and most of them are multiple goals for Villa games. Like,
yeah,
I think 1, 2. Yeah, before the Man City and Arsenal games, which were 1-0 for Villa. In my quick little look, they only had 2 Premier League games that they won 1-0, and the rest were like 3, 4. They put 6 past Brighton. Like, they were scoring these multiple goals a game and flying high, and then it just kind of floundered after the Arsenal game. They got past.
That was their championship, is beating City and Arsenal.
I guess maybe because they got past Brentford the game after, but then they drew Sheffield.
That game was a shit show though, and I think they scored at the last minute.
I think so.
They got 77 and 85, and that was. I remember Watkins barely got that in too. It was, that was a lucky one for them.
Yeah, but then you go and you lose to United. You beat Burnley, but 3-2. Like that wasn't a good one either. Yeah, draw Everton, and then here you are losing 3-1 at home to Newcastle. And honestly, I don't think Newcastle looked all that great. Like they didn't look bad by any means, but I think Villa just
nothing special.
No, yeah, it seemed like their defense is just. I think is that the first corner where like none of the defenders are watching the ball and everyone runs forward and leaves like Shar and maybe one defender and like maybe 2 other guys in the back, and then Shar gets onto the ball and it's an easy hit, and great for my fantasy team, but like as far as Aston Villa, like you can't have everyone just run forward blindly, like.
Yeah, it was bizarre, dude. It was bizarre. I can't explain it. I don't know what their bounce back is. I don't know when they're gonna do it. Maybe I guess they got Sheffield on the weekend, so that would be the one that maybe can kickstart it. But then you go on you go on a tougher stretch. United, Fulham. We'll see what Forest can do. So I mean, they're gonna probably be on a little bit of a roller coaster here, and then. I'm checking when they play City next. I'm like, maybe that'll be a little bit of a, I don't know.
We're back in the cup.
Yeah, I'm like a rejuvenating game. I guess not till April 3rd, which is roughly 10 games away. So that might be too late.
Too late, I think. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think they did look better once Bailey came on. So I'm not sure why he didn't start, if it was a fitness thing or what, but. If he's going to be the key to, just get that attack firing again, he's got to keep playing. He's got to stay healthy.
Yep.
Watkins, I know you've been eyeing the move in your fantasy team on him, and he keeps putting up some numbers, but like
he gone.
I think with the way just the overall team has been playing, I think it's not a bad move to move on from him.
There's a lot of other options on Villa that I can swoop in later for. I got my eyes on others who I think will produce. So that's the plan moving forward. You did bring up Aston Villa beating Brighton 6-0. Does that mean much when Luton Town's beating Brighton 4-0?
Well, I mean, you talk about Villa flying high, and we're thinking highly of them. Brighton's the same thing, but they started their downfall earlier, I think.
Whoa, and Liverpool rumors with De Zerbi coming in. I'm like, if this guy can't rejuvenate this Brighton team, I understand they're missing some key pieces right now, but dude,
but enough to play that poorly away at Luton, I don't think so.
You still got your dudes. Your dudes are there.
That's what I'm saying. And I know like Matoma is a big miss, but he's not.
That's the one.
Yeah, he's not. The piece that you were missing in this game that would have made it all okay. They just looked so bad. Like Luton was all over him.
All over him. That was like just a classic Luton home game where they just said, "We're gonna go at you. Our fans are behind us, and we're gonna put away 3 before half." and I think Luton could do that against most teams. Like weirdly, I think they could do that against a lot of teams. I think teams see it coming before it can actually really kickstart. But Brighton's not a team known for their spectacular defense and their love for clean sheets, which we've seen one in the last year. Maybe 2 at this rate. Yeah, I think maybe 2. We have 2 right now.
Right?
Yeah, Wolves and West Ham. Okay, 2 in the last year. That's abysmal and
still not great.
And Luton punished them for it. So hats off to Luton, man. Like they're out of the relegation zone now. And they got a game up on the bottom 3, so they could make a little bit of distance there.
Yeah. I mean, just kind of relooking at the stats, like they outshot Brighton. They lost on possession and pass count and touches, but like you clearly kept Brighton not pinned back, but you kind of controlled Brighton, right? Like sure they had the ball, whatever, but like you didn't allow them to do anything with it.
Look at the heat map.
I mean, yeah, heat map is
it's all in Steele's zone.
Exactly. So it's that Luton at home, I think, is just catching a lot of teams by surprise. I think because of how different it is than all the other stadiums they play in. Yeah, I mean, this game was a real surprise, but I like Luton.
I do too, man. I hope they stay. I hope they do not get relegated. I want to keep seeing them play. I think teams are chalking them up like an easy win when they walk in there, and then they have their backs against the wall, like just like how Brian had them. What? How many minutes in? 3 minutes in, you're down 2-0. Like, not game over, but good luck.
Yeah. I mean, like 2 down, 3 minutes in. That's a
shitty place to be, dude.
Yeah, like 1 goal down first minute, okay, you have the whole game to come back, but letting 2 in so close, so early, I feel like that's just not only kills your game plan, kills your team mentality, and Brighton wasn't able to bounce back, so chalk that up to De Zerbi, I don't know, but like if Liverpool was looking at him as a potential replacement, that and Brighton's lack of clean sheets and some of their performances this season, I think would make me question that appointment.
Yeah, not my type of coach, personally. For Liverpool, I could see him being a lot of like just stay Brighton. Brighton's great, man. I think Brighton's the right fit for him, but he's got to figure some stuff out, obviously. Yeah, congrats to Adebayo on that hat trick. Well done, sir. Well done.
He was everywhere.
Fulham Everton, pretty good snooze fest there. I don't know if I'm shocked no one scored, but I am shocked no one tried to like really take a stab at it in the end. I mean, it was pretty. How many shots on target for Fulham here? 6, and Everton had 4. So no one was really trying to do much for most of that game. I think I caught a glimpse of it near the end just to see what would happen, and I think both those teams are pretty content with the game finishing out how it was. I'm more shocked Everton was going that direction just because they're they're in the relegation zone. They could lose more points here. I don't know. It's kind of gloomy right now in the Evertonian world.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Everton, just like Fulham, had a couple of like really good opportunities, but I mean, like you said, there's hardly any shots on target. So just poor shooting from both sides. Did you see the Robinson handball situation?
No.
Okay, so I forget who shoots it, but someone on Everton shoots. Ball gets deflected like up, and then um, looks like it's gonna like go up and like fall right into the goal, basically. Um, but it ends up coming down, bouncing off the crossbar, and then on the way down from that, hits Robinson's hands as he's like running back to try and defend it off the line. So it hits his hand, which then does allow him to clear it off the line. It gets VAR checked. They said it wasn't a handball because he didn't have time to move his hand out of the way. But I don't know. I mean, it allowed him to get there to clear the ball off the line.
Was he slipping?
He was not slipping. This was firmly planted, well, running, but yeah. So I don't know. I think Everton fans could maybe feel a little bit hard done by that one. It was kind of a weird situation where that it does kind of catch Robinson by surprise, but at the same time, that now kind of stopped the trajectory of the ball, allows him to get around it and clear the ball off from the goal line, basically.
I think his arm is too stretched out in that frame that we get to say his arm was in a natural position. So
yeah,
what is? That's why I just wish every time a ball touched her hand, just call it a handball. Wouldn't that just make everything so simple?
Yeah, but then you will get the times where it's like arms are against his body and it hits and
touch your hand, handball. Like sucks to suck. Don't have hands. Put them behind your back. Make sure it doesn't hit the ball. I know it's like obviously devil's advocate here, and it's just annoying, man. It's just so annoying when you get to touch the ball like this. Like, well, he didn't mean to. It's like, well, of course he didn't mean to.
Yeah,
but you still can't do it.
Yeah, I think if this ball comes down, hits off his hand, and maybe even if someone else clears it, I think I would feel a little bit more okay. But because it hits his hands and then he gets to clear it, like it feels like he almost like sets himself up for the clearance. And not to say Everton would have even got a goal off of this, like the ball was bouncing back into like the 6-yard box, but I don't know. It's one of those weird gray area ones that we've seen a handful of times this season. And
wait, you know how if attacking player touches the ball with their hand and then they score, it's not ruled a goal. It'd be interesting if they made a rule where if you're a defender and you touch the ball with your hand, you can't be the next person to touch that ball.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
And if you do, it's like an indirect or something.
Yeah, and kind of evens that rule, right? Because like right now it's very against attackers in that sense.
Because know if they're not gonna say this is a PK, it's like okay, it wasn't intentional, but then he tried to kick the ball away. It's like, well, that'd be fun to have an indirect kick 6 inches from the goal line. That'd be really actually awesome. But yeah, it feels too advantageous to defenders because he gets to do things like this. So that's an interesting point. Again, we don't see it a ton. Like, I mean, this is probably the first time not the first time, but this clearly where his arm is so stretched out and it looks very obvious like it should be a handball, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. just I don't know. It was the like one interesting moment I took from that game, basically.
That's fair. That was about it.
Yeah.
You could probably say the same about Palace and Sheffield. Back and forth early. Eze looking really good. He just hit his.
Yeah, he was on it.
His 100th Premier League match. So he was presented an award from his elementary school that he went to. All the kids came out there and gave him this cool little Premier League trophy thing. So that was cool to see. So for him to grab a brace right after that, that's pretty sick. And Elise having a nice game too. So Palace deserved it, but that first 20 minutes was like back forth, and then just like nothing for so long.
Yeah.
But I'm glad Palace got the win. I think Hodgson needed that to keep his job. I think if they lose to Sheffield here, I don't know if he's around next week.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, Eze and Elise, I think, are just like the lifeblood of that team, basically.
Easily the two best players there.
They look great out there, especially when they're both on their game like this. And I mean, honestly, I have all three of their goals down for goal of the week because they were all great.
Yeah. I like Mateta too, man. He runs like a freaking horse, dude. He has such long, and he just gallops down the field. It's really fun to watch him. He looks out of control to me for the most part when he is running, but I don't know. I think he's kind of a good number 9 to have with those two guys, knowing he doesn't need to be the guy, but he can, hold the ball up well or sprint down the field very quickly to go grab it. But yeah, Eze and Elise, those are the guys who, if I'm Palace and I know I'm not going to go anywhere, probably going to sell them in the near future. It's a shame they have to. I wish they could build up a team around them because they're so good, and Palace has been awful since forever.
Yeah.
Mediocre. Maybe not awful, but obviously they're in the Premier League and they've been around for quite a while now, right?
Definitely.
But like never breaking top 10.
No, they love 12th place. I'm going to say it.
How many years have they been in 12th?
God. I feel like anytime I look, they're in 12th. It's now they're in 14.
I think Fulham might have that 12 spot right now.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, here we go. So, sorry, it's loading.
Who are you going through?
Transfer marked. This is the first one that popped up.
Yeah, I got that too.
Okay, so they've been in Premier League since 13-14. So yeah, been in the league 10 years at this point. But I mean, look, these finishes. 11, 10, 15, 14, 11, 12, 14, 14, 12, 11, 14. So maybe 14 is their number. They're right where they should be.
That's hilarious, dude. Wow.
So, I mean, yeah, you'd love to see them be able to start to like grow and build a team, but to me, this feels like your ownership and I guess maybe fans to a certain extent are just happy being reliably in the Premier League, right? Like,
yes, yeah.
You don't go through 10 years and have zero progress.
Wow. For them to never break top 10, which I'm not surprised by. Like that's why we brought it up. That's why we looked it up, because we just needed to know.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'd love Elise to come and duke it out with Saka, challenge each other. Don't think it'll happen, but he would be nice to have. Eze looks great, but he's a hard one for me because he has his moments where he looks incredible like this, and then other times where he just falls so flat. But that could just be down to Palace and their tactics and how they play sometimes. So hard to judge.
Who they got next week? Oh, Brighton. Okay, Brighton Palace could.
That might be a good game.
It might be. It'd be an entertaining game. We'll define good later.
Yeah.
All right, we got two more to check off here, Chad. City and Burnley. This is the rematch of the start of the year. I think we all knew where this was going.
Yeah.
Haaland's back. The team is back. It's something we all got to deal with.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about does City need a striker? Probably not at this rate. I don't think they need one. I think anyone can just kind of go in, and as long as they have 11 players on the field with KDB, good things will come. My notable highlight of this game was Nunez pinching Foden in the ear, not once, but twice after, I think it was the Rodri goal. Very strange sequence of events. Oh, no. It was right after, it was Rodri's goal, yeah. If you can go back and look at that, maybe we'll do a sidebar and go look at it. Very strange, weird vibes with that. Pinched him on his ear. He kind of looked at him and he pinched him in. And Foden was like, what are you doing? And then it was all smiles. It was like he never even did it. But Foden looked genuinely mad. And I was like, and Nunez was like, what? Like, why are you mad at me? Very odd. I don't know.
Yeah, that's strange.
But remember, Chad, they always pick on Bernardo Silva and they do the same thing to him. So I'm like,
true.
Is Foden the new Silva? Is this the guy they now pick on?
Could be.
And Silva didn't play, so
yeah, it had to be someone.
So Foden was the chosen one.
Maybe that's why he looked mad at first. He's like, it's not going to be me. Can't be me.
Maybe. We had a little tussle in this game. Some players went at it. I don't remember exactly who it was on Burnley. You saw that where they kind of pushed someone in the back and then.
Yeah. I think it was Stones gets like not really pushed at the end of the play, but kind of clipped and goes down, and then. And
the player was like, "Hey, like that was my bad." Like.
Yeah, and it didn't look like anything malicious, and then City defense comes to I don't know, get in the Burnley player's face, and then
White Knight, baby.
Ederson, and then Ederson comes in with his like shoulder checking the dude's back, which gets a yellow card, but I think is maybe a borderline
Violent
red,
conduct.
right?
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking too. And he didn't even see it. He didn't even know what happened.
No, yeah, he just came in and saw there was a argument and then shoulder check in the back. Like, yeah, I mean, I get like fighting for your team and all that, but at the same time, you had already won this game.
It looked so accidental. It was just like, what? Yeah. What's happening here?
Ederson was right there when the foul or whatever you want to call it happened and did nothing.
Yeah.
Until he heard people arguing.
Yeah. He's like, I'll do something about it.
Yeah. But nothing really to take from this game. It's just
it's City being City.
Yeah.
All right, then Tottenham Brentford. Karma. This is karma.
Yeah.
Right? Not playing with Tony.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be.
I love
to do. Oh yeah, that's Neil Maupay's game, right? Is like he doesn't score a ton. He's not the most threatening attacker anyway, but like he will shit house and just rile you up and cause that issue.
Give him one opportunity.
Yeah, like where like Emi Martinez will do that in goal. Like that's Neil Maupay up front, and karma I think is a fair way to sum it up. Like.
Yeah.
I think, although the whole like stealing celebration thing, I think is a little bit cringy anyway, especially when it's something as simple as like throwing a dart.
I know.
But I think it did kind of rile up Tottenham a little bit more and energize them and motivate and stuff. I don't know. It's. Brentford probably could have done better, but
I wonder why they chose Madison's celebration. Like what
I don't know.
Yeah, I want to know. Is there some history there? The Twitter beef is fun. Maupay saying I've never been on a team that's been relegated, and Madison came back with the get your own celebration. You don't score enough, and he's like, I score more than you, and I was like, damn, he does. So
yeah, I mean, I think for Maupay, he's just he probably realizes the situation he's in of being paid well to be a professional footballer, like dream job for a lot of people. So like he doesn't really care. I don't think Madison really cares either. But
No, Madison loves the shit house too. He does it all the time.
yeah. So I think. Brentford had a few chances in this game to really put it away, and didn't.
Yeah.
And then that's where the karma kind of came back afterwards and really put Brentford in its place.
Dude,
but
I had this game off for like a minute, and I walked away and came back, and they scored 2, and I was like, "What happened?" I was so mad.
Yeah. It was just like a 8-minute period where Brentford just like let 3 goals in basically.
8 minutes. Yep. They look like City.
That's rough. Yeah. Did you see Pinnock's little back heel thing?
That would have been sick.
Man, I wish that went in. That would have been really nice.
And it's crazy too because I missed the initial shot, and then I was like, "Whoa! Like what just happened?" And I was like, "Oh!" So I caught the late reaction of it. But damn, that was close. That would up there for goal of the year.
Easy, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I will say, Timo Werner, he looks more comfortable in the winger position, which I think is his more natural position, than he ever did playing striker for Chelsea. So at least Tottenham's using him correctly.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see when Son comes back what they do with that front three. But where Charleston's found some form, I don't know. It's like, of course, you want Son there. Son's. I looked at Son's stats in the Asia Cup, and he's playing really well. He's scoring a lot. And they're advancing.
I think Timo's just going to have to play, bench and give Son a rest here and there. I guess he could fill in for a Charleston if you need it, but that's not really his bread and butter. I don't know if he ever plays on the right side. But then again, they I think are pretty solid with Kulusevski on that side. So yeah, I don't know. The Werner signing was always a little bit strange, and it felt just like Son cover through the Asian Cup.
It's a depth thing. I think they just want that extra backup.
Yeah, but hey, he's got 2 assists or something now, so
yeah,
it's working out.
Yep, more than Anthony.
Who else has more assists than Anthony?
In Premier League?
In Premier League. On your team.
On my fantasy team or on my
Liverpool.
Is it Babyface? Babyface Connor Bradley? Yeah, hell yeah it is. Hell yeah, he's got more goals too.
Yeah.
It's segue time, Chad. All right, dude. We just found our right back Trent replacement, Andy Robertson combo. I don't know where they come from. I don't know who's making these kids, but we're sending them to Bolton, and then they come back looking like gems. Yes, we've been sending our youth academy players there for as soon as we can, and they're doing a great job developing them. We hope to keep that trend up. Like him a lot. Killer instinct, great finish. Scored his first goal before Joe Gomez, which is a crazy stat. Like poor Joe, but at the same time, Joe doesn't need to score a lot. I like him on the right hand side when Trent's not there. Better than Joe, but Joe's been really good on the left, and he's not a left-footed player. So I don't know. I like how we have this kind of rotation going now. And with Robertson and Trent coming back, our team is, and once we get Endo back from Asia Cup, gotta get Mo back to full fitness. That's obviously the kicker. But take away the PK miss from Nunez and how many times he hit the post, he looked really, really good today.
Yeah, he
did. It's like the best you could look without scoring. So
pretty much.
Numbers look good. It's not even like he's trying that hard. It looks natural. It's just they're just not going in. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy to think he could have had 4 goals today by a matter of centimeters. So, I hope he doesn't think too much about it. He shouldn't. This was a great win over Chelsea, and we haven't gotten one in the last 7 games. So to finally do it, fantastic. A couple weird calls that happened. The Virgil challenge on Gallagher to kind of get that game started, which a lot of, we're kind of getting a lot of heat on that one. Mm-hmm. At first glance, does it look like a PK? Yeah, it does. But once you start slowing it down, I don't know. It's just kind of that gray area of like, he's kind of losing the ball. He's kind of, he even the commentator said like, well, did Gallagher run into Virgil or did Virgil run into him? And it's like, when you can't know that just by looking at it, it's hard to say if it's a PK. And I don't want to say it was a 50-50 challenge, because we didn't really challenge the ball. It was just such a tight space, and they both were running in the same space, and they both hit each other. So, every fan who isn't a fan of Liverpool is saying PK, and I understand it, because that's what you should be doing. But at the same time, there are so many chances where Liverpool has been called for a PK or vice versa, and it's just looked so obvious, and we haven't gotten it. So it's like, did the soccer gods give us one today? Maybe. And do we deserve it? Kinda. Like, we've had so many VAR opportunities go against us, so let us have this one. And in the end, it meant nothing. We dominated that game.
Yeah, that's the thing I was gonna say. Like, just look at final game stats, and it looks like Chelsea wasn't even out there.
They barely were, Chad. They barely were.
I mean, to complain about whether it's a PK or not, okay, but like, your team still only put up 4 shots.
They did nothing. I was not worried.
So
I was not worried one bit. Even if we went down 1-0 there, I knew that wasn't going to be much to worry about. Our finishing is superb. You let an 18-year-old kid walk all over you, and then we got like our main squad back too at the same time. I don't know. Pretty good day for us.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like. I feel like so often these games end in a draw, but it looks like when both teams are out there, they're both just like kind of stale, and that's why it ends in a draw. But this did not look like that. This looked like Liverpool was like out there to play and to win, and clearly did, and did so, easily, I guess I would say. Like it so many of the moments that look good for Liverpool is like Chelsea's defense is just like a mess in the back, or like all pushed over to one side, and then Connor Bradley's way open making this unchecked run somehow, and gets onto the ball and scores his goal, and like, it's just not good enough for the Chelsea fans and the Chelsea team. Like, I don't want to rant about Chelsea again, but like, what are they doing? Where are they going? It doesn't make any sense at this point. Like, Pochettino on the hot seat for me. He's obviously not building the right way, but like, I don't know what you do now as Chelsea. Like, you signed everyone to 8-year contracts. You brought in the guy that's supposed to help build the team. You should be able to get some results and at least put up a fight in these bigger games. Like, is this Liverpool team better than Chelsea anyway? Yes. Should they always kind of win these games? Yes. But like,
they laid down.
Yeah, to not put up a fight, like, it just. I'm glad I'm not a Chelsea fan. This season would. I mean, maybe not even this season. I guess the past couple seasons would just be like so hard to watch every week and come away and still feel like I need to be invested in this team and use my time to watch them and follow them. There's nothing to latch on to.
I mean, they got to be up there in the most losses in the last calendar year, right? In Premier League?
I would think so, yeah. It would not surprise me if they are.
This article was released as of December 27th, 2023. In the 2023 year, they led the Premier League in losses with 19. So, if we add in, let's see, how many times have they lost in the last month? 2?
Yeah, they had a decent last month. They won some games,
But
like
as of December, uh, oh no, they just beat Fulham, so they're at 20 losses. So yes, they are still leading the Premier League in losses with 20 in the last calendar year.
see, and that's just, I know Chelsea as a club and maybe their stature in like world football was kind of inflated under Abramovich, who would spend the money and but also appoint really good managers and have good recruitment. Um, and like the way he had to leave was kind of quick and rushed and not ideal. But there's got to be some upside for fans, and I don't know what you're looking at now to get you excited to watch the next game. Like that's gotta suck to like. I might be checked out at this point if I was a Chelsea fan.
At this point of the season, yeah, probably.
Yeah, like,
what are you playing for at this point?
Yeah,
10th.
And I get like Arsenal went through their rough years, but it was still like the thing that drags me through those hard times is like seeing kind of the vision and where the club is trying to go, and you know, you can still see the smaller improvements from game to game, and like I don't watch a lot of Chelsea, but the times I do, I feel like more often than not they look like this. And I don't know. I don't know where they go from here, what they do, who you bring in.
If you're a Chelsea fan, who do you like the most? Obviously, it's got to be Cole Palmer, right?
Probably.
But then you take him off the table. Who's like your next favorite Chelsea player?
I would think maybe Gallagher, but then there's all the talk of him not wanting to sign a new deal, so he's probably gone in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Then I don't know, maybe you maybe you know, you get some Enzo fans just because of like the promise that he brought, but you know, he's had little flashes of what he can do, but for the most part he looks like a wasted 120 million or whatever they paid for him.
Reese is probably up there, but he's never on the pitch, so
yeah.
So what do you do with that? Caicedo was supposed to be this amazing, you know, defensive midfielder who's been not worth probably even a quarter of the price they paid for him.
No.
Mudryk, same story. Maybe Gusto. I like Gusto's game, but he's not playing enough. There's so many people in front of him who they paid big money for that they feel obligated that they need to put on the pitch. Yeah, I'm happy I'm not a fan of them either, man. It sucks.
Yeah. It's like it's funny, you know, our little Instagram group has a lot of Chelsea fans, and to see them kind of up in arms about today's game, it's like, yeah, you can you know, cry about VAR and everything. Like I get it, every team has it, every fans do it, but you can't tell me your team went out there and played well enough to have come away with a win.
For
like
sure.
Regardless of if there was like multiple penalties awarded to you. Like I don't think that was ever going to happen.
No. They could have typed that message before the game even started. And it wouldn't shock me. Wouldn't shock me. Yeah, happy for Liverpool. Glad we got that one out of the way, and now we get to look forward to the weekend, Chad.
Yeah, back at it. Our third game within like 2 months or something against each other.
Yeah, just about.
Right?
I feel like we played in December. We played in January for the Cup, and then so we've had a couple bouts in the last month here.
Yeah, it should be interesting. You know, I think Arsenal's looking better, but then still having their shooting issues. You know, Liverpool, I think, is dealt with the Salah absence about as best as you can. So
yeah, I'm weirdly not worried about him not being able to play. But you want your best player in the arguably the second biggest game of the year for you. So I'm hoping our guys show up.
I think so. I mean, I think they do have the Klopp's last dance kind of motivation, but then also they've just been playing well, and you play well, and then you just like kind of keep building on that. And Jota loves to score against Arsenal, and he's already looked good against the other teams he's been facing. So won't be surprised if he gets a goal. I mean, look, Connor Bradley could just be this completely hidden gem that just pops up and just destroys the league. I don't know, but yeah, I think it'll be a fun game either way. We got to do something about City.
How much longer do we have? March 9th.
March 9th.
Circle it. That'll be the one. And the last time we've lost in England, Chad, was back against Tottenham. So we're on a massive streak right now.
Okay, yeah.
Massive.
Yeah.
September.
So it's a good stretch, certainly. We'll see. I think it'll go. It'll be like most of these games have gone in recent Arsenal Liverpool history, like kind of blows back and forth, and it'll be the team that makes the mistake, right? That lets the other one through, and yeah, we'll see.
Our last 4 EPL games, 1-1, 2-2, 3-2 Arsenal, 2-0 Liverpool. So
yeah,
we're split.
Yeah, I think it's they're fun games now. Like there was that time before Arteta really came in that it was basically just a 5-0 Liverpool win every game. Yeah. So those are less fun, and for the most part, Arsenal's like defensive lapses are few and far between now, so that's better. But I think it's always a fun watch. It's fun to see how tactical Arteta tries to be, and how just like almost direct that Klopp wants to be right into that tactic.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it works right away, and other times Klopp knows how to make those in-game changes to kind of sway the tide. And we'll see if Arsenal can put their shooting boots on and maybe get a goal or two.
Here's my takeaway, at least for what Liverpool needs to accomplish. Mm-hmm. In the last 3 games we've played, y'all, you've scored in minute 1, minute 8, and minute 4. We cannot go down in the first 10 minutes of the game. It's just crazy. Every time we play you guys, it's like, well, time to climb uphill again and see what we can get out of this. And we've been fairly lucky. I think the game that y'all won 3-2, there was that weird PK call against Saka, which we still is like burned into my memory. And now, of course, the Odegaard handball slip thing is just another thing we can talk about, but I don't want to climb uphill in the first 10 minutes. The first 10 minutes, man, it's like, come on. It's like, I just woke up.
Yeah. Yeah, give me time to like settle in and
please.
Like feel each other out first before anyone like throws a goal away.
God. All right. Let's jump to goal, team, player. Then I'm going to read you off my my changes for my fantasy team here.
Yeah.
Goal this week, it's got to be my boy babyface killer Connor Bradley, just because of how first goal of Premier League, slotted it perfectly. I did not think he was going to score that. I really didn't. No. And perfect slide for the celebration. Took a nice little bow, and it's a good debut goal. But again, a lot of awesome goals this week. And we're not even done with the week. We still got more games. But I just got to do that one. I felt good. Felt good in my heart.
Okay. I was a little bit conflicted. I really like his goal. And then part of me wanted to give him like player of the week, but then that felt like a little bit disrespectful to Adebayo getting that Hattie.
For sure. Are we in agreement that Adebayo is going to get that
I think
player?
So.
Yeah.
I mean, he gets the Hattie against Brighton. That's big, for him and Luton. Goal, yeah. I think the only one that really challenges it for me is probably Eze's first goal, just because it's
Yeah,
one
it
of
was
those fun,
nice.
like, foot way up in the air, weird flick in sort of thing. But Bradley just played so well, he deserves some sort of shout out here. So
Give
I'm
him
down
some
to give him goal of the
love.
week.
Give him
Yeah,
some love. And then team, we gotta go to Luton too, right?
easy.
It was
Yeah,
easy. This is
easy.
one of the easiest weeks to choose
Yeah,
these three things.
yeah. I mean, I don't know if it was this week just kind of culminated with a lot of great individual performances because I have like a pretty good list of players, but
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of these games are pretty entertaining. Lots of goals scored, honestly, which is a
Yes,
nice
it was a
change.
lot.
So, um, yeah, I think the only other player I need to shout out is Fabian Schär, 2
Mm-hmm.
goals. Didn't have to do much defending, so but I think he still had like 7 clearances or something. So he's doing his work back there still. Yeah, I think that was a pretty easy best of the week
That
for
was
us.
very straightforward.
Yeah,
Shout out Alvarez too. He had a brace as well, but
yeah. On
it's
his
City.
birthday
I
apparently.
know.
So
Yeah, good for him.
wow.
Good for him. That's the only nice thing we'll say about City today.
Yeah.
All right, Chad. Here's my changes I'm making.
Let's hear it.
Keeping Pickford.
Smart.
Taking out Trippier.
I think also smart.
Taking out Romero.
Okay.
Replacing them with teammates.
You're gonna do it to me, aren't you?
Dan Burns and Pedro Porro, Chad. Had to be done.
Okay.
Had to be done.
That's fair.
I'm keeping my mid.
As is. Yeah, that's fair.
Keeping my
Okay.
mid. Kudus, Polina, and
Saka.
Saka. Thank you. New addition. Never had Saka on my team before, by the way. This is the first time
Really?
I've had him. Yep. I've
Oh,
always
wow.
I've always done weird things with Arsenal. It
Yeah.
was hard for me to kind of root for that midfield just because I've jumped around. I've come from Ramsdale
Oh yeah.
to
Yeah.
Odegaard. I want to say I had a defender for them at one point, but that's too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Taking out Watkins, and I am going to put in Tony.
Oh, you're a man after my own.
Chad, no, hang on. I gotta make another change then. I messed
Oh, you
up.
do? Yeah. Pinnock
I
is.
gotta take out Pinnock.
Oof. This is happening live, everyone.
Yeah, this is good thing we're here, or else I would have had two Brentford player on my team. I think this is gonna be a pretty easy fix though. I've been wanting to do Semedo, just because I don't have a Wolf player and I really want to track Wolves. I might go out on a limb here, Chad.
Mm-hmm.
I might do something that no one expects.
Oh no.
I'm gonna do a quick glance, but I might do Wan-Bissaka. I don't
Is he
have.
playing?
He's playing. He's back. You just haven't seen him because Man U hasn't played in forever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a quick little fact check for defensive actions, just to kind of see where he's at in terms of tackles. But he was up there last time.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember we looked early on this season. He was one of our surprise, like big tackling kind of guys.
Yeah, he was just out forever. So we
Yeah.
haven't seen him. He's only had 12 appearances, but let's see. His last match, he had 2 tackles, 5 interceptions, 2 blocks. So I might take a gamble. I'm going to sit on it just for a couple minutes after the pod to think about it.
Yeah.
But I do want Tony. I
Okay.
don't trust Watkins anymore. Tony's has 2 goals in 2 games. I want to make
Yeah.
a little bit of a shakeup. But man, I forgot that Pinnock and Tony were on the same team here.
Well, I mean, yeah, Tony hasn't played in 8 months or whatever it was. So,
Yeah.
I think all pretty good changes. I'm excited to see what numbers Dan Burn can put up.
He had good numbers today.
Okay.
Good numbers today.
And I think all smart, changes, I guess. You still got what a 40-ish point lead right now, so you don't got to do.
I'm at 40.
Anything.
Whew.
Yeah, just
Nice.
above. So I mean, yeah, you're a decent lead right now, and I think you're probably playing it smart, not making anything like too drastic of a switch. You're not pulling a Forest striker in or something, like trying to really go crazy with it.
I thought about Reyna, but I was like, I don't know who I even like. I don't even know what to expect.
Yeah, exactly.
Dan Burn numbers for you for the day, Chad. 6 clearances, 5 tackles, 4 interceptions. So
okay,
I think that'll be a nice addition to the team.
Definitely.
Trippier, he gets those assists. He had another one today, but
yeah,
I'm ready to kind of switch things up just a little bit.
It's fair. A lot of people have Trippier, so
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I want to be just a little different, and hopefully good things will come.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, no one else has jumped on your Kudus pick, so
I know, man. I don't think they know what's up yet.
I get we had a brief little snippet of him before he went away to AFCON, but I was surprised no one jumped on it, honestly.
Yep, same. All right. Let's make those changes, and yeah, I guess we'll go from there and put episode 59 in the books.
Yes, sir.
Good with you?
Oh, yeah.
All right, we'll see you this weekend. Go Liverpool.
Big game. Arsenal's going to take this one.
Yeah, we'll see about that. And with that, the Hooligans pitch. We're out.
Peace.